Hi everyone, welcome to the Timeless History channel with me, Derek, aka Sal, the Omega enthusiast. Omega introduced its first automatic watch in 1943. At the same time, some of these early automatic Omegas are relatively small. Most from the 1940s and 1950s are usually 34 millimeters in diameter. However, in this episode, I would like to focus on and share a few oversized vintage Omega automatic references from the 1940s to mid 1950s. So, without further ado, let's get started. This first reference is one of the very first oversized Omega automatic watches under reference 2374. It was introduced in 1943 and lasted until around 1947, a year before Omega introduced its first Seamaster watch. These pre-Seamaster oversized Omega automatics were all powered by a bumper type automatic movement where the automatic weight hammers from side to side, charging up the mainspring. Omega did not introduce a full rotor rotating automatic movement until 1955. Although it measures 35 millimeters in diameter, excluding the crown by 42 millimeters from lug to lug, this timepiece appears prominent compared to a piece with a 33 to 34 millimeters diameter. Reference 2374 comes in various dial, hand, and case material. However, it does have one downside to the alluring case design. The metal ring that provides the back with an extra latch is commonly missing. This ring is obsolete, not obtainable, even if you try to order from Omega. The case lug width is 18 millimeters, and one thing I really like about these early Omega watches is that the lugs have holes to release the spring bar and replace the strap quickly. The low dome crystal is acrylic, and the original crown could be signed or unsigned. To open the back, you'll need to pop and remove the metal ring first, then snap open the back. Around the case back, there is a gasket to prevent moisture from entering the watch and provide friction to hold the back against the case. Reference 2374 carries a 17 jewel Omega 30.10 RA bumper automatic movement, the base movement of the late caliber 332. The difference between these early and later bumper automatics is that the bumper spring are visible and not covered. Also, make sure this metal flap is there to secure the movement from moving inside the case once the back is put on. In 1948, Omega introduced two upgraded versions of reference 2374. The first is under case reference 2584 and the second is under case reference 2637. At first, I couldn't tell the difference between these two case references as they look identical. I asked myself why Omega created two different references that look the same. After hours of researching, I've learned some distinguishing things between the two references. Before I share the differences, I want to define what makes them the successor version of reference 2374. That is the modification of the caseback. These two references do not have a friction fit snap-on back and do not require the metal ring that commonly goes missing. Instead, they come with a screw-in back similar to a first-generation Seamaster, also introduced in 1948. So what makes reference 2584 different from reference 2637? The main difference between these two references is that 2584 carries a regular low dome acrylic crystal, while 2637 has an upgraded crystal with a metal tension ring that provide extra tightness when installed into the case. Both these references originally came with a caliber 351 bumper automatic movement, which was replaced around 1952 to 1954 by a caliber 354 bumper automatic movement. In my research, I've learned that reference 2584 commonly comes with a double-signed caseback, where you'll see 2584 inside the back along with reference 2480. Initially, I thought this case was made for both center and small second movement, where 2480 represent the small second version. In fact, that's not the case. Instead, when the case material of reference 2584 is in solid gold, it will be referred to as reference 2480. That said, reference 2637's companion is reference 2638. Between these two references, one can easily tell the difference apart. That is, 2637 has a center-second feature, while 2638 is the sub-second version. All four of these references have a case diameter of 35.3 millimeters across, excluding their dome knurl original crown by 43 millimeters from lug to lug. Shortly after Omega introduced its first Seamaster watch in 1948, it introduced two oversized versions under references 2494 and 2657. The inside caseback of these oversized Seamaster is double signed, showing both references, where reference 2494 represent the center second version and 2657 represent the sub-second version. For instance, if you own the center second version, reference 2494 is what to refer it to. Similar to their regular Seamaster counterparts, these oversized Seamaster are available in all case materials and have various dial variation. Always make sure the minute hand does not surpass the minute track to be correct. The case diameter measures around 36.5 millimeters, excluding the crown by 45.5 millimeters from lug to lug. The proper original sign crown is the clover type, and the acrylic crystal carries a metal tension ring. The screw-in back originally came with a metal gasket, but you can always replace it with a new flat rubber gasket. Although these Seamaster appear precisely like their regular version, they are not highly collectible like the regular version, which are 34 millimeters in diameter. The case lugs on these oversized Seamaster do not have the chamfer like those on most regular version. If you find these video helpful, please support the channel by clicking on that thumbs up. Thank you. When Omega introduced these two references in 1949, reference 2657 came with a caliber 342, which was replaced by a caliber 344 around 1952. Reference 2494 originally came with a caliber 351 and later got replaced by a caliber 354. These are all 17 jewel bumper automatic movements. And even though they were also used in regular version, a metal movement ring is required for this oversized version to sit correctly in a bigger case. If you have made it this far into the video, I want to share one more oversized reference under 2493. It appears exactly like a reference 2657 except for two main differences. The pre-1951 dial does not include the word Seamaster in this reference, and it carries a larger Omega bumper automatic movement that does not require the metal ring. The movement caliber number is 332, which is 2 millimeter wider than caliber 342 and 344. Reference 2493 was introduced in 1949 and lasted until around 1953. Several other oversized Omega automatic watches from the 1940s and 1950s exist. Unfortunately, I already sold those examples on my website. When I can get my hands on them again, I'll create part 2 of this video. Remember to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss out on any future episode. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch, and I look forward to seeing you in the following video.